9 years at Leicester now as a regular in the first team. It's not something that happens much at clubs these days. How do you begin to sum up the journey that you've been on here?
It's been some journey. It really has. We started when I came here. We were training on a cricket pitch, changing in the dressing rooms here and driving to the pitches because we were getting our first training ground really ready. And to now where we are in a Champions League position with a new training ground on the way. Everything has been quite a journey.
The club wants to establish itself at the top end of the Premier League. What's it been like from the inside trying to break into the established elite?
Well, it's always going to be difficult. I think the London clubs will always have an attraction for players abroad, to come and live in London and maybe to a certain extent Manchester as well. And we're always going to have a challenge with money and things like that. We have fantastic owners who have backed us with absolutely everything, I think we're doing a really good job of trying. We did it once, amazingly, and here 4 years later we're back trying the same thing. Now I think the situation for us is different. Obviously, we need to try and sustain this. We kind of skipped some steps by nearly getting relegated, winning the league, being Champions League, nearly getting relegated, and then having a couple of mid-table seasons. And we've had to find who we are in the Premier League. What is our identity? And I think we're finding that now. And we have an amazing manager who has a great vision for the club. We have an owner who has shown himself as an amazing person, an amazing leader in the face of, absolute devastation, to come through it and behave with the dignity and the kind of leadership that he has been absolutely amazing. So the journey that we've been on is terrific, and I think we're building in the right direction, that's for sure.
You touched on the manager. Brendan Rodgers has been in charge for just over a year now. What has he done to move the club forward? What are his strengths?
Well, he's done many things. First and foremost, I think his man management skills are exceptional. The way he treats his players, the way he talks to his players, involves his players. But I think the most important thing he could do was come in and give a clear messages of identity, of who are we, what kind of team we want to be. On the field, off the field, the kind of people he wants us to be. I think those things are really, really important, that when you're building a club, you don't just look at the football side, you look at absolutely every aspect. What type of people are we around the training ground? How do we treat each other? And on the pitch, what type of team are we? And he's been so clear in his message, and I think that was exactly what we needed.
You're coming up against a Nigel Pearson team this weekend. It's somebody, of course, you know very well. What kind of influence did he have on you and as the club in general?
Nigel was a huge influence on me. He was a manager who really kind of gave me stability in my career, having been around all sorts of clubs everywhere. To come in to a club. And Sven getting sacked after, I think it was 12 games, to then think, oh right, what we're going to do now again with a new manager, to come in and again, man management. I keep saying it's such an underrated quality in football, something that so many managers forget and don't really exercise enough. But his man management skills were exceptional, and I think as a club, we still reap the rewards of the foundations that he built at this club. The title season was built on his foundations, and I think Leicester City has a lot to thank Nigel for.
Everybody remembers the infamous Watford playoff semi-final. Sorry for bringing this up again. Obviously the saved penalty and then Troy Deeney's goal. What were your feelings at the time, and was it something that you could use positively moving forward?
Can I swear on radio? No, the feelings at the time, every possible feeling you could imagine: rage, anger, devastation, sadness, frustration, anything you could possibly imagine. It was a tough summer, a really tough summer, a horrible ending. But I think you saw how we used it. We got promoted the next season with 102 points, and you could see it from the first day in pre-season. Everyone turned up, but they were so fit. Everyone was raring to go. We could basically get straight into football from first day because everyone had really had this period of over the summer of stewing on this and having to think about what had happened. So we used it as a positive and as extra motivation that we were never going to put ourselves in the position of being in a playoff where we could lose it like we did. We were going to win this league.
Jamie Vardy is closing in on 100 Premier League goals. Can you give us an insight on what he's like as a striker and as a teammate, and just having him around the place?
Only 100? It's about time. No, his story, his journey has been exceptional. He's a ruthless striker. He has this incredible ability to just switch it on in games. Training, not as much. Don't want to be on his team sometimes. No, you can really just tell he knows where to be. He's become, very clever in his movements as well. But he still has that raw, blistering speed, and he just has a predatory instinct of knowing where to be. And then, most importantly of all, when you know where to be, you have to finish it, and he does that every single time, mostly.